there's something massive happening to XRP over the next few months. And I really only started to realize what when I watched the 60-minute interview with Brad Garlinghouse, and I realized just how big of a role cryptocurrencies have played in the current election. But more importantly, it's the start. If you actually watched the interview through, you would have noticed a couple of things, one of which is just how sheerly crazy the next midterms are going to be in about 2 years from now. The amount of money crypto companies are going to want to spend on getting the right people elected, getting the right people to win. And again, percentage-wise, I think about a third or so of all the money donated came from crypto companies or in the form of crypto. Now, just imagine how huge that's going to get. Regardless, though, from watching this whole interview, I realized one very important thing, which was
the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
I think a lot of people missed that Donald Trump speech where actually he said it's going to be the freaking center of everything. And now I look through my comments nearly every single day. But I don't do every single day is look through my DMs. But you know what I saw? There were a couple of people that explained, Dusty, you've made a video about how Trump can really propel Ripple and XRP to a next level, partially because, for example, he's been saying we want to make sure U.S. companies become, encouraged to stay in the US, so perhaps do something with the taxes for those companies, which could be really huge for Ripple and in turn for XRP, depending on exactly what the rules on that will be. But another angle was all the connections that Ripple has had to Trump in the past. And man, before I move on, make sure you go ahead and press the like button on this video. And also, there's another platform I use to trade on right now, which you use from almost anywhere in the world. It's called WeX. And the reason I'm bringing it up right now is because they've got a nice little spinny wheel where you can get some free tokens, some free XRP, even one Bitcoin or $100, whatever. The more you trade, the more you can spin. And I just thought, hey, it might be something nice to quickly cover for you guys because it's absolutely free. You could just sign up with the link down below, and you can use really, really high leverage on the platform. I don't recommend it, but you can. I just wanted to quickly say that. Anyway, yes, you can trade XRP on there if you wanted to. Really, when you go down these rabbit holes, you can spend so much time looking into it all. But, just besides that, even just besides the Ripple connections, are you guys understanding how big Trump is going to make this whole crypto stuff once he gets president? I'm not going to say that it'll be only ups, but I just want to say SEC chairman out. New bullish crypto guy in. That's one. Second of all, we all know how Trump has been acting now that the crypto space is going up. He launched his own crypto project. Think about that, right? Think about that. He has a stake in the crypto project, the Liberty Fi, whatever. Do you understand that it's in his best interest to make sure that all the US crypto companies look so freaking good? Because otherwise, he's hurting himself. A lot of you guys wanted me to calculate the numbers and all these different names. Like, for example, take a look at Donald J. Trump and then continue on that radar for a little bit. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not really something I like to cover on this channel anymore. We used to do that a couple of years ago, but for right now, I'm not sure how many people are interested in all these underlying connections. And really, just to pinpoint a couple of connections, because you guys, you at least want to see some, I understand that. Donald Trump has nominated Silicon Valley tech entrepreneur David Sacks to be the White House crypto and AI czar. Interesting, right? Well, who's David Sacks? You can take a look at him right here. You can see his response right here. People were discussing down below what's been going on, but take a look, right? He's on the All In podcast before. He has commented on the fact that Ripple won, or more importantly, XRP was deemed a non-security in the whole Ripple case. Some people pinpointed even more links saying, this David Sacks was also a member of the PayPal mafia, serving as chief operating officer at PayPal and pro-crypto. He said PayPal's goal was to become the world currency. So in this case here, he also understands the mission.
So back in the early days of PayPal, and this is going back to 1999, so it's almost 20 years ago. We actually, our first t-shirt said, PayPal, the new world currency. And so there was this idea that we were going to create this new global currency.
And then there's also a big portion of them discussing it, with obviously one of them being very much against it. We discussed it before, but the majority here being really excited because what does this mean for Coinbase? What does this mean for all the others? Trump coming in and Ripple winning is going to be a cascading effect, which it has been for the most part, because how can you let XRP get off scotch-free for the most part and say it's not a security? But then we can't really make a proper determination for Ethereum because who really knows? But they can again make one for BNB. They can again make one for ADA. They can make one for Solana. It's kind of like a Wild West here. And we all believe that Trump's going to set the record straight. But ultimately, I think, right, it will all, again, come back to the whole Ripple case because of what happened there. And when watching, here's, for example, this, I don't know why I can't retweet that, by the way. I'm not sure what's going on here, but it says, breaking, the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, is on Fox News. Donald Trump had a meeting with Ripple. You know what a lot of the comments are saying? But didn't the co-founder of Ripple invest, basically, how can you call it the best way, support Kamala Harris? And I've said before, to some extent, you shouldn't mix personal politics with business politics in the sense of even if one of them wants to support this or that, it doesn't necessarily mean that much for the company because you can have personal opinions. Second of all, this is also a logical one. You know, I would say different, better options for different states. And the third option is the more money you send to one side, the more that crypto money you show to a side that's usually against it, the more of a chance you've got that they'll embrace you or your industry. Meaning, let's just say, right, Trump is set to win. Or let's just say it's a 50-50 matter of fact. Because this has been bothering me. At the start, I was like, that's strange. But now I've been thinking about it. Let's say it's a 50-50 split. One side is really pro-crypto, starting his own crypto project. You've already had a meeting with, you know you're good with. You send him some money through some methods. The other side, you know, kind of is like, let's kind of numb crypto down a little bit. Who would you send more crypto? Well, on this side, you're already good anyway. He's got enough money. You don't really need to send nothing. That side, if you as a company show a lot of support for this individual, and you specifically show crypto support for the individual, and they receive so ridiculously much crypto, this is what was said in this other interview here as well, that for these candidates, it's almost impossible to ignore crypto or be against crypto because the donations are just so huge. And I kind of see some bias there, obviously, but it does also make a lot of sense to then support the opposite side, which I didn't really think of before. That's besides just, you know, it perhaps being personal opinion. But really, a lot of what he's saying here is quite interesting. Let's just take a little bit of a look if we can.
You were saying that XRP is up 70+%. Since election day, the best performing crypto assets are all U.S. companies or U.S. technologies. This shouldn't be a surprise. The United States SEC has been manipulating and putting pressure on these U.S. companies, U.S. technologies, and now that pressure comes off and they explode upwards. We shouldn't be surprised by that.
Reason I'm playing it at a quicker speed is otherwise I think it might get blocked here. And a lot of interesting things pop up like, hey, the state's going against the SEC now. And he calls it a crazy unlock that has come up for the crypto markets ever since Trump was elected, basically. Then she basically said, hey, a tweet was liked by Brad Garlinghouse indicating that they met with Trump, and he can't really give specific answers. He says, well, I'm not going to answer too many questions. I can't get too specific on this. And she says, I take that as a yes, which obviously anybody can understand. By the way, the price went from 50 cents to 80 or whatever cents in a really quick time span right there. And just look at the prices now. Now people go to my comment section are complaining about a $2.40 XRP or a $2.20 XRP when we're at like 90 cents a few weeks ago. And it keeps talking about how now all these states and these attorneys are suing the SEC and all joining the same party. But the point being here that this is the start of a whole new era. If you were bullish on Ripple XRP before, realize that the moment that the SEC basically was going to get a revamp and this whole regulation by enforcement situation was basically going to get thrown out, and Trump was the man. I'm not saying Trump is amazing in every aspect. I will never be the one to tell you. I mean, there's negative sides to any positive, right? We all know that. But if we're talking crypto-wise, Trump coming in is going to change the game completely. And you could say that maybe they were basically trying to eat from all the sides by also supporting Harris. I don't know why they did that exactly. Maybe it's personal politics. Who cares? All we know is right now, since the election day, price has gone up from what? Like 50 cents to $2.50, even almost $3. You got to realize that, yes, part of it is cyclical, but for the most part, a lot of the U.S. companies, because I forgot about that part, a lot of the U.S. companies are some of the ones that are doing best. Why? Perhaps there's just so much more that really will change specifically for those which might have a negative effect on a lot of the non-U.S. based companies. As right now, man, Europe is also joining the US with all their strict crypto rules, which is getting really, really interesting. And now, over the next few months here, it's finally going to be released from all the pressure that was upon us. And I keep thinking, right, you remember a while back, we stated what would be the biggest impact for Ripple XRP. Part of it was IPO, which of course now they're allowed to do, but they might want to wait for even better circumstances in the next few months. Before it was, well, the moment the lawsuit is finished, we can do it. But they might get an appeal anyway. The appeal is most likely going to be thrown out as Gary Gensler leaves office. Because why would they continue on? Because Trump is not going to side with them, and already attorneys are suing the SEC. So that's all nice. But another part was, remember when we said only a very small portion of Ripple's business is based in the US? Can you understand that now an update to that is that they freaking launched a stablecoin in New York? New York is one of the most awful places when it comes to crypto. but they just got that approved, which is kind of crazy if you start thinking about it. And I keep thinking about how big a role the RLUSD, which again runs on the XP ledger, can play in all this, especially as more and more issues pop up with Tether in Europe for the most part. But think about this. If Trump, which we're all expecting, is really going to put a lot of emphasis on giving them the U.S. crypto companies tax breaks, making sure they get the proper regulation they want. If you look back at what was said just, I think yesterday, actually, let me quickly take a little bit of a look here. It was Goldman Sachs saying they will evaluate participating in Bitcoin or Ethereum. And again, those are just the start, because just like with BlackRock and the ETFs, a lot of companies start there, but they expand rapidly. And this I call the bull run of where the big guys are making these decisions, and most likely is going to be a top when all of them have accepted it, if regulators permit. And that's basically right now what we're in for. By the way, must I add that Trump's son, Eric Trump, also says crypto is the freaking future. I believe that cryptos are the future. Banking is slow as hell. It's antiquated. And it doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense that banks run on a 9-to-5 schedule 5 days a week. I still kind of don't know why they do that. I guess because they keep getting away with it. But then when you start thinking about the services that Ripple offers around the whole world, starting again, basing out of America, there's a lot of potential for that to grow. And I do keep thinking about how Elon Musk, why Elon Musk? Because I read it right there. How Trump might want to really make that grow more and support it more. And again, I don't even want to get into all the connections with the numbers today. It's a story for a different day. Some people are also tracking Trump's wallet, and they said he just bought another $5 million worth of ETH, worth of crypto. Pretty interesting. I just keep thinking, if you're thinking of selling at these levels, think about how crazy this can go. I don't want to be a buy. No, I actually should say it differently. I believe in buy the rumor, sell the news often. But in this instance, I believe really the rumor is still a very small rumor. I think the real rumor is when Trump starts saying these really outrageous things about how he's going to support crypto in the US to a really, really hefty degree where it's kind of like impossible to do so, saying, oh, they really want everybody to, and they're going to give crazy breaks to everybody moving to the US. Because I really believe if you think about it, right? Just like how Gary Gensler wanted to be the center of the crypto regulation, so to speak. I think Trump, this is my own predictions and expectations, wants to be the president to embrace crypto into the newer age. Because he can do that. He can be the one to say, I put crypto, and we talked before about how Trump had made posts like that before about the market, that it's, him pushing it up. And I believe if he can be the guy to really put crypto on the map, especially as it soars in the US markets and just, I took crypto I was really bullish on crypto at 2 billion and 2 trillion, whatever. And right now it's at 40 trillion. That would be a really good spiel, especially because he might be able to witness two bull markets, 1 year at the start and perhaps, half a year or so at the end, maybe a good portion of it. Let's see. But I think crazy times are ahead of us. For some people, for some reason, people disagree, but I really can't see the other vision. I can't see the other side. I keep thinking of all the reasons why selling right now is kind of stupid. Right? There's so many beautiful things coming, and a big portion of that is specifically for US companies that I'm thinking like, damn, they're going to get so many switches. But then again, also for exchanges, if all these losses really are going to be thrown out, which probably they will, I think this really might be the craziest bull market yet, because there's going to be such a massive amount of new big clients coming in. A lot of them are waiting for the regulatory approval, but as the regulators switch, the SEC members switch around, could be done. A lot of banks might want to participate. A lot of clients are thinking now of, hey, if we're going to get tax breaks, maybe we'll go for it, which might happen. I can name 1,000 different things, but I'm just really, really excited right now. I think the future looks really bright. Doesn't mean it will be straight up, but I'm just saying most likely the real best times are ahead of us, and we'll only in a few months realize how early we were to all this once it's already kind of late. And I keep thinking about that. Let's say, for example, before Trump got elected, right? Or right around the time, people thought, you see, this was a buy the rumor, sell the news. Here's where we go down. But then the price still almost tripled throughout the next few weeks for XRP specifically. So you can keep thinking, yeah, but it's already up somewhere. Yeah, but it can go up. Just because it's gone up 200% doesn't mean it can't do it again, which is the same for the downside. Just because it's down 90% doesn't mean it can't go down another 90. But realize that just because it's up already a lot doesn't mean we're done now and it's going to start crashing. Usually it's based on things going up by such a margin that's too insane to really even be realized and kept. But we're seeing the biggest crypto adoption wave ever. So theoretically speaking, we should also be seeing prices that are really kind of out of this world, just like how these announcements have been. And that's what I'm waiting for. That's generally speaking when I'm gonna get kind of scared of crypto again. But most likely it's really when all those companies like Microsoft, etc., are all like, yeah, we put a good portion of our reserves into this coin. I think at some point it will most likely happen. Yeah, maybe even with that within like 6 months. We'll see. Things will move really, really fast once they start moving. Let's just say it like that. Hope you're excited. Hope you put the notification bell on for the next video that I'm gonna drop. And I'll see you guys in a little bit.